I'm going to discuss black women and homophobia. Now, most black women will claim that they're not homophobic and they're so supportive and they have gay friends and all this stuff, but one of the first things they do when they're trying to make ad hominem attacks against black men is accuse them of being gay. We see Cynthia G doing this, and it's not just Cynthia G. This is what many black women do. I mean, it's supposed to be an insult. It's like if you don't have a problem with someone being gay, how is that an insult? I mean, Cynthia G calls people sugar booties, but then she claimed that she's not homophobic. I mean, according to her interview on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, she claimed that she's indifferent to gays, but no, she's actually very homophobic and very bitter and resentful because she's not able to extract resources from black gay men. And an indication of this is the fact that they always direct their venom towards the black gay men, but they never have any smoke for black lesbians. And that's really important to note because, they don't say anything about lesbians. It's almost as if lesbians don't exist. They don't care because they're not getting resources from lesbians, but I don't know why. I mean, why don't you, if all you care about is money and you don't care about men at all, why don't you use lesbians to the same extent that you use black men? I mean, and if black women are so much more successful and make more money than black men, and all you care about is money, then the obvious solution should be to try to basically shame black lesbians to want you, the same way they shame black men. So the interesting thing is that when black women are single, it's always the black gay man who they lean on. It's the black gay man who takes them out to dinner and pays for everything. In my case, I was taking my friends out to, expensive restaurants. I took them to Mariah Carey concerts and all of that and paid for everything. I mean, front row seats and everything. And they didn't have to spend a dime, right? This is when I was rolling in money and I wasted it on them. And then all of a sudden, well, either when you don't have the money, all of a sudden they're not interested in you, or when they get a man. It's like when they were single or some man dogged them out, you're the person who was there consoling them and trying to cheer them up. I mean, my former best friend was always having issues with men. I hate talking about myself, but it's kind of hard to tell stories without giving the details. But I'm just going to talk around it. We were both studying for exams, and I mean, she knows I have all this studying to do, and she calls me whining, and she crying hard, like with the snot coming out of her nose and everything. And she knew I had to study, and I put my needs to the side and drove, maybe 30 minutes away, brought her food, tried to console her. I mean, I probably wasted 3 valuable hours of study time trying to make her feel better, and then I had to go back and try to study, and also go to work and all. And it's like, I mean, I was there for her through so many situations, and when I needed her, she wasn't there for me. So basically, when my financial situation changed, I mean, just to keep it real, I am the one who cut her off because I just felt that she was using me. And she's not the only one. I had a friend in high school who was also using me. That was a horrible situation. I may even do a separate video about that one. But this has happened to me so many times with black women. I'm just like the accessory who's there to basically, the men are basically the hosts, right? The men who they're interested in dating. But in between men, when they're single and we're going through this shit, it's like the gay man is the acting host or the temporary host, the de facto host. It's like they're not getting sex from us, but they're getting everything else from us, and we're not getting anything. What do we get out of it? And they'll say, "Oh, well, you're getting my company." That's what she used to always say about men. I'm like, because she always talked like objectified men and talked about how, they need to have money and they need to do this for her. And it's like, well, what are they getting? She's like, "Oh, they're getting my company." They're not getting your company because it's work for them. They have to work so hard to make you laugh. They have to pay for everything. They have to, in many cases, provide the transportation. They're driving out to you. You don't lose anything. Like, they're not getting anything out of it. They're just generous, and you're taking advantage of it. And then you see women, like, for example, we're going to say Kenya Moore, and I'm using her because she's a celebrity and she's a common reference. This happens in real life also. But Kenya Moore was basically running her mouth against a man and getting all up in his face and all this stuff. And then her gay friend tries to intervene to protect her, and guess what? He's getting his ass whooped because she was standing up there running her mouth. Right? And so, but yeah, you still see Kenya Moore turn around and make homophobic statements, and then when she's mad at someone, she wants to accuse them of being gay. So, black gay men are taking the beatings from black women all the time. I mean, they're just, I don't even know. I think it's because we feel sorry for them. We do kind of relate to them, like with their sob stories about how they've been dogged out by men, and then we kind of fill in that void, and they move on. Eventually they find a man, and then they don't need you anymore. So it's always going to be a one-way friendship. I mean, if we're not having sex with you and we're not seeking a relationship with you, why do we have to pay for everything all the time? I mean, I've had a friend who I would always buy her birthday gifts and do all these things for her, and she couldn't even, I'm not saying she necessarily had to buy me anything if she didn't have any money, but she didn't even know when my birthday was. Like, she was just a complete narcissist. And again, I'm going to do a separate video about her because that woman was horrible. And even my mom is extremely homophobic, despite the fact that she had this gay friend at work who, I guess he was the fun person to kiki with, and yeah, she still would come home and make all these jokes about how gay and fruity he was, and I'm sitting there listening to this as a child, and so in my mind, she has a problem with gay people, and so as an adult, she's wondering, because I'm not in the closet, right? I just never had a discussion with her, and so she decided to friend me on Facebook, and I put a whole bunch of stuff on my page, which wasn't for her, it was for everyone else, or whatever. I mean, if you happen to see it, so what? But she's like, so she makes it all about her and how, oh, I'm out of the closet. First of all, I was never in the closet. And she felt like she was being left out because I never had a discussion with her. I'm like, and she basically tried to force me to admit to her that I was gay. And I cussed her ass out, and I didn't talk to her for about 2 years. Like, as homophobic as you are, I don't owe you any fucking explanation. And what am I supposed to talk to you about? It's not like I'm in a relationship. I mean, I may be hooking up with dudes, but I don't want to sit up here and talk to you about that. Like, oh my gosh, I had to hold back because I just wanted to call her every kind of bitch in the book because, Yeah, I was going through real problems, like, and she had no empathy for what the hell I was going through, but she wants to call me to talk about whether I'm gay. And like, I'm a grown ass man. I don't owe you a fucking explanation. So, I called her out on that. It's like, why would I tell you anything when you're homophobic? Oh, I'm not homophobic. And then when I repeated all the things she said about her gay friend at work, oh, I was just playing. And then she's like, oh, I've never had an adult discussion with you. You don't know what I think. I know what the fuck came out of your mouth. And, and there's truth in a joke. I mean, that shit came from the damn heart. That's what you actually believe. You've never said anything positive about gay people or, like, say anything in defense of gay people. So I would be left with no other conclusion than the fact that you're homophobic. And, but besides that, who wants to have that conversation with their mom anyway? I'm not, I mean, I was close to her at one point. I'm not close, I haven't been close to her in a very long time. And at this point, I don't have any relationship with her. And she never asked my brother if he was straight. So why is there this huge double standard that I have to tell her that I'm gay, but my brother never had to tell her that he was straight? So I'm just tired of black women and their homophobia, because they're so hypocritical and full of shit. They use us. Even in my mom's case, she loved going shopping with me and being fabulous, and and she would almost think she was jealous of me at one point, because I could, back in the day when I had money, it's not like I'm broke, but I was doing a lot better in the past. I would outdress her, and we would go to, like, functions and stuff, and then first of all, she would try to make me change my clothes, right? And because she thought I was going to embarrass her, because she wasn't current with what was fashionable. And so in her regressive retrograde mind, what I was wearing wasn't fashionable. But then when we would go, I would get all these compliments, and I would get more compliments than her, and I think she was actually jealous of me, which is fucking pathetic. Because they would actually compliment her. They would say, oh, your son is such a good dresser. Now I'm not into that shallow, superficial bullshit, but there was a time when I was programmed to waste my money on the white man's clothes. And all these black women just love to befriend me because I was the cool, funny, I was the person that was there for them and made their lives better until they got a damn man, and then all of a sudden they didn't need me. It's like, until that man drops them, and then I'm just sick of them. And even you listen to people like Cynthia G, I don't know her life, but I guarantee that she has had gay friends in the past who she mooched off of, and now she's sitting up here weaponizing homophobia, accusing people of being sugar booties in order to insult them. So it's all fake. It's a manipulative ploy to try to shame men into giving them resources, which I don't know how the hell that works, because no matter how much you try to shame a gay man, they're never going to what? First of all, we're already giving you resources. We're already taking you out to eat and buying you gifts and doing all this other stuff. Yeah, that's one of the things that my mom used to like me. I used to get her really good gifts. I don't do that shit anymore. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being a gay son who rewards an abusive mother for her shitty ass treatment. No, get the fuck out of here with that shit. So I'm pretty much done making friends with black women, because they're just fucking users, and it's pathetic. They don't have your back, and they're basically looking down on gay people and talking shit about them. So it's really strange because we're the ones we're ride or die. We sit up there and defend them. When men are talking shit about them, we're there for them to lift them up and giving resources to them, and they don't appreciate any of it. So basically, black women can just kick rocks. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.